So I haven't quite gotten used to this no more tire changer thing yet. So I've been comfortable with just spooning it in. So this is the rear OEM wheel. The gold is an anodized chrome gold, so it looks a bit matted compared to the Takasago rim with the woody hub. It's actually shiny like chrome. So I hope the color doesn't fade, but time will tell. So this is the rear wheel, 17-inch, same size as the OEM. So this is the OEM black hub, the view of the inside compared to the aluminum blue inside hub of the wheel. If you look at the spokes, 4.5, 6 thickness on the spokes. Let me zero out. .6, 3.58 compared to 4.6, 4.58. So a whole millimeter thicker are the spokes on the woody wheels versus the OEM. I mean, clearly you can tell that the spokes are thicker. It's substantially visible that it's thicker. So I can only guess that they're going to be stronger in that sense. How strong are the rims? Well, Takasago are pretty known for making racing wheels, MX wheels. So they take a beating, so I would think that they're pretty strong. I think it's more important up front, if you can, why you do the upgrade. The front wheel takes a pretty hard beating, especially when you go off-road. So having stronger rims and spokes on the front wheel is an important thing. So how tall are the wheels, 21-inch wheels, compared to the 7 to the 19? Let's put them side by side and we'll have a look here. So okay, so you could tell in height kind of the difference. You're looking at, I say, 3 inches, 2 inches taller, maybe. I don't have a ruler. But it looks like the height of the tire almost, the rear tire. And you can see how narrow the front 21 inch is versus the rear. Sorry, the 21 front versus the 19 OEM front. How wide the tires are. So with a slimmer, narrower tire, it's actually easy to turn in the sand and off-road. because it's narrow, but it's because the tire's taller. It's also easy to climb over obstacles too. But I'm no expert. I do feel more confident riding off-road with the 21-inch. I'm able to attack steeper and higher climbs, hill climbs. So that's all I know. So I'm going to have to take off the speed ring. Put it here. This is the left side of the 21 front wheel. I'm going to have to take the brake rotors off. And remember which side is the back side of the rotor. If you look in the back, you can see the alternating pattern. That exposed pattern needs to be on the inside when you install the rotor back onto the wheel. Same on that side, yeah. That alternating pattern, that zebra looking pattern, needs to go on the inside. I've had problems with these before where it's the bolt stuck in and you gotta crank on it. Now broke a couple bits doing that, so you might have to spray some W4D, loosen it up. I've got to take off the OEM rotors, reuse them, the rotors and the speed wheel, the APS speed wheel. And on with the I'll go check the torque setting real quick. 19 Newton meters on the rotor bolts. 18, 20, something like that. The wheel came with the the different bolts they gave to me. It's still the same. Star bolt, but it's about half an inch longer. The bolts are half an inch longer. The tightening specs is 60 Newton meter. This green handle e-torque torque wrench is actually really nice for the money. I think it was $50, $60. So it's not the cheap $25 Harbor Freight kind. It's easy to lock and change the reading. It's much easier to do and more accurate. Right now I'm at 60 Newton meter. Locking it, pull out, push it in the lock, pull it out to unlock, and then just twist the handle. It seems more solid than the Harbor Freight knockoffs. Chinese knockoff. And then just hang it on the crash bars like so without busting up my lamp. Same on the other side. So what has to happen is that we have to raise this T-junction of the brake. When the 21-inch goes in, it's actually going to hit this. So we actually have to raise this up. So they gave us a bracket, a piece of aluminum extension that we're going to use to. So we have to loosen that. Okay, so it's nothing fancy really. It was just a piece of bracket that allowed me to pull this T-junction a bit back and higher up, maybe 4 millimeters higher. It's hard to see what I'm doing, but here's a nut to it. But again, it's just allowed me to move this junction maybe ½ an inch forward and 4 millimeters up. Okay, so now that I've mounted the T-junction of the brake line 4 millimeters higher, ½ an inch maybe back, what's going to happen is that T-junction, now it's going to hit this little channel in the mud guard here. So you won't be able to get your screws in because of that that raised T-junction. What he's done is basically dremeled out the opening just to clear this area, so I'm going to cut that out. Normally I would try to make measurements and try to make it pretty, but this is all the way in the back and no one can see it really. I'm just being lazy. So here's underneath the mud guard. In truth, I probably didn't have to cut as much material as I had. Like I probably could have kept that part of it and really just cut the back end of this here. But I just don't remember exactly what was it hitting. And I just remember cutting a cross or a bird-shaped thing, so no biggie. Might get a little dirt and mud up there, but it's all sealed here and it's all aluminum. I can always spray clean it when I'm washing the bike, so I'm not worrying about it. Okay, I put some axle grease inside the spacers, and now I'm gonna clean off this axle and then put some new grease in there. Just standard high pressure axle grease, nothing special. I might have to raise this a little bit to get underneath the mud guard. Right, because this is a 21, so I actually needed to lift this up some more. Much higher. Yeah, it's just enough. There we go. All right. So. It's a little bit tight in there. Perfect. It wasn't so bad. So this is at 30 Newton meter. The axle, the Newton meter. But what they say is you want to lock the axle at 30 Newton meter. 30. You want to lock it at 30, and then when you let it down, you want to bounce it a little bit to even out the alignment, I suppose, and then once it's on the ground, you put the tension bolt on. So right now I am going to put my caliper brake calipers go back on. Perfect. What I've had in the past was having the calipers actually rub against the spokes because of the tolerance is so tight, and having to end up shaving down the caliper a little bit. But it looks like these hays are. So it's rubbing up here right now on the mud guard, so I have to form it some. The binding on the mud guard, 38. $40 Nm. Okay. Alright, and then I'm supposed to bounce on the bike a little bit. And then, now I can finish off the tension bolt. That uses a 45, I think. Yep. And that's set to 19. Okay. Alright, so this is supposed to be spinning freely, and it does until I release the front mud guard. So the rear's not touching, but the front's touching. See if I raise it up like so, I can spin it. But if I let it down, it's touching. Well, it's barely touching. Barely touching. Spokes are clearing. Spokes are the last set or two. The Brembo calipers were actually rubbing against the side of the spoke, so I had to shave the calipers down some, but it didn't look like it's binding, touching any of the. It's close, and maybe 3 millimeters worth of clearance, so it should be alright. Stick one of my spoons right in the middle here, like that, and just let it sit over the span of a day or two, and hopefully that'll form it, cause it to create a gap. Of course, I could probably put a heat gun toward it and soften it up in that shape, and then probably do that as well, just to shape it, point it up a little bit. So that's pretty much it. The 21-inch wheel in the front, I just leave this in overnight for a couple of nights just to form this mud guard so there's a bit more clearance, but it really doesn't touch. Probably going to be only an issue if I go mudding somewhere and the mud gets kicked up under the mud guard and locks up the front wheel, but highly unlikely.